Hey guys, welcome to my channel again. Today I'm going to tint my own car. This is a thing that I wanted to do for a long time. So since I bought my car, it came untinted, so the windows were pretty transparent. It was like driving a fish bowl. But now what I'm going to do is going to tint my all windows. So I'm going to walk you step by step of how to do your own tint and help you guys also to tint your own car at home. So if I had to do the tinting from outside, it would have costed me around like $600 to $700, and I'm going to show you guys that tinting should not be expensive. It's just time consuming. Since you would be also doing it for the first time, I'm also doing it for the first time, so it was going to be time consuming. Let me show you what I have got for my car tinting. So here is the black rose tint that I have got, which is 35% all around. I do not want it to get multiple different tints, so the legal limit over here is 35. So let's tint all the windows 35%. But make sure you measure your windows first, because the first initial roll that I ordered was like 20 inches and it would have never covered the back window. Always get the highest, like 36 inches high, which will definitely cover your rear window as well. So the tint portion is done, and now you need to have the tools. So the tools that you're going to have is kit that I got from Amazon. Contains everything: the blades, the squeegees, the side swiper, and also the cleaning blade. Aside from that, you just need one heat gun. The one that I got was battery powered. It's not necessary for everyone to get that one. You can also get a normal heat gun with the socket, which costs around like $20-25. With that said, let's start tinting the first window.
Alright, so the first thing that you want to do is always clean your window. So what I'm doing over here is just I sprayed the soapy water on the window, and I'm just using this blue squeegee to squeeze this water out. Once you are done with that, place your approximate sized window tint on the window and start cutting it. So the first edge that I'm cutting is the straight edge and the longest edge, just to get a base ready. And after this, the next step is going to move the tint to the right side, the edge that I just cut, and placing a cut on the next edge, which is on the left side. Make sure you cut on the straight edge like what I'm doing. I'm not cutting the entire window because the window curves on the top, so I'm making sure that I am just cutting the straight edge, removing the excess tint. That is really important. And after that, what you want to do is cut the top section. So here I'm opening the door, but before we trim the top section, you want to make sure that the lower edge is slightly over the rubber seal, and now you have to take your time to adjust it back to its original shape. Make sure you move your tint back to the original position, adjust it as per your need, and then you are ready to cut the tint. So make sure your edges are all lined up, and like what I'm doing over here, take your time, and after your edges are lined up, you would be heading inside to roll down the windows a slight bit. So once you have rolled down the window a bit, then make sure you tack it down really nicely so that the upper edge is clearly visible from the tint. Now take your knife and just slice it through the top portion of the window. Make sure you do not touch the glass with the sharp edge of the knife, otherwise you might get scratches on it. And once you are at the edge, make sure, take your time, we do not want to cut the seal. So after turning the knife down, I'll go to the edge as far as I can, and then I'll try and lift away the rest of the tint and tear it apart. Now the basic outline of the tint has been cut, and what you want to do is make sure all those edges are connected and you have a outline of the tint. At this point, if you want to do this on a glass board, you can do that, but when I was doing this, I did not have the glass board, so I just decided to cut it on the window itself, and it turned out pretty good. So after this, what you want to do is lay the tint flat on the window, and after this you want to make sure to tack the window tint down to the window and try squeezing all the water out. So after a while you do that, you'll start to see those fingers rising up from the tint. You don't have to worry about it. This is the time when you bring out the heat gun. So while with the heat gun, we are going to shrink the window tint. So here is me who's trying to heat up the window tint, and once you hold it near, make sure you move it all along. So once you hold the heat gun near the finger, it will start to shrink and move its shape. And that's when you know you gotta push it down like that, and the window tint would be sitting it flush against the window. So take your time. It takes a lot of experience and time to make sure that the window is properly shrinking. And once you start seeing that, you can push it down, and then you have to tackle the lower and the smaller fingers as well. After you do that, now you gotta move inside of the door and start cleaning the inner side of the window. So basic steps: use your soapy water, the scrub pad, and make sure you scrub every single edges and the top side of the window especially. After that, you then take your blue squeegee again and squeegee from top to bottom so that you do not leave the dust behind. What I'm doing is swiping it with the microfiber cloth every single time when I swipe the window, and this makes sure that there is no streaks remaining on the window. After this, I come outside again and try to separate the liner with the film. While doing this step, make sure that the liner is getting wet always with the soapy water. So it's really difficult to do it for the first time, but slowly you'll get used to it. So like what I'm doing here is removing the liner a bit, making sure the tint is wet, and I'll do it for the half section of the tint, not the entire one. I'll show you why. So after you do the half section, you gotta lift it up like this, ensuring that you're not touching the sticky side of the film. And after you do this, gotta open up the window and try and paste it at the inside of the window. Make sure that you do only the top half, and the window is already rolled down a bit, like I would say an inch down.
Once you do this pass, that means you liked your placement of the fin and you're pushing down the water. It is not going to move very easily. You see, similar thing that we have to do is make sure कि ये बाजू तक जाए and pushes out every single water which is in between. You roll the window up slowly.
And now you start spraying it with the soapy water at the bottom of the window, so that now you are going to unroll the liner like this. Take your blade, push the edges inside, make sure that you are doing it very carefully, because you might just cut or bend the window tint in such a manner that it won't be savable again. So here what I'm doing is making sure to just push the water outside from the top half coming down. So the motion that you need to remember over here is that you need to push the water from the center part to the sides. So for the lower side, you need to just take the same black tool and push the tint inside the liner, and with that you are almost nearly done with tinting the window. So make sure you just push out all the water outside once you have uh, placed the window tint properly inside. Wipe every single surfaces down, and after this you will be closing the door, looking the tint from the outside, giving it a nice squeegee again. So what this does is this will pop up some of the missed areas like this one. So for this, now we focus over on this part. So we'll open up the door, take our blue squeegee, and then push out from the side.
So this is day 2 of tint in my car, and for your surprise, जैसे आपने last time देखा था कि I was working on this window right here. So this window has been completed. The window looks very nice. I finished this side as well. As you can see, it's all the same color, looks very nice. And honestly, behind the works, I was working on the other side as well, so I went ahead, finished this side as well as this side and the small window as well. So majority of the calm, you have to follow the same step. And the most important thing now I'll be doing is the back window. That's the biggest glass section that I have. So पीछे का tint, you have to make a rough cut, and after you do that, make a edge pattern on the window. So basically pull it towards yourself and push it up, push it down. Go on the other side, do the same thing. After that, you need to trim your window tint to the window's length and the area. So I'm carefully using the knife because I don't have the backing tape, which usually the tinters use. What I'm doing here is mostly hovering the knife onto the glass so that it doesn't make any contact with the glass and I do not get a scratch. Now, the mistake that I did over here is I used the wiper, the blue blade squeegee to tag the window down, whereas I should have used the other velvet squeegee that I had to tack it down. This caused some of the scratches on my window tint, but it's fine. It's my first time doing it, so I never mind it. Yeah, but anyways, after you do this, now you should be getting these long fingers at the top and the bottom of the window that you are tinting. So now the next step would be to reduce this extra tint, extra fingers down to the glass itself. So bring out your heat gun, apply heat on the lower section first, give it a try, and move at your own pace. So now you want to just look at the finger shrinking. Don't push all the way down because the only heated part is the top section and the lower section is still cold, so that might cause some stress on the window tint. So go with the small increments and slowly you will have the window tint laying flat on the glass. After you're done with one of the lower sections of the windows, move up to the next quarter, like the top quarter or the right quarter, to shrink the window down. But I'm going to skip that. So we'll move directly inside to the cleaning of the windows. Right here, I have already pasted the tint which I had already shrinked. Now I am just applying pressure to pull all that water out on the sides. Make sure that you have these microfiber cloths inside your car so that the water doesn't get into your speakers. So slowly work in one section. As I mentioned earlier as well, you need to push the water from the center to the outside, and slowly you will get to see that the tint is laying flat. And after you just finish a bit and push the tint around, you will see the final result, which would be something like this.